On Fridays around this time, we like to check in with a guy who writes a column for the Marina Times. You can find it at marinatimes.com. He is the culture blaster. He does the column called The Coastal Commuter. The culture blaster means culture of all kinds. Music and television and streaming and movies. And he arrives with a supernatural flair. Michael Snyder, welcome.
It's a cloud of stars. I feel so light, so airy. Hey, hi, how are you?
I like your column called Hunkering Down for the Holidays that's in the Marina Times. I'll link to it on my Twitter feed. But what to watch and what to enjoy through the holidays is all your thing, man. So go for it.
Yeah, well, I do want to say before we start, I just obtained an advanced transcript of Trump's concession speech. He closes with, yes, it's true. I wanted to steal the election, and I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Wow, nice shout out to Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, there you go. That's right, Scooby-Doo shout out.
Hey, let's get down to what's new and exciting. Not a holiday thing, but Freaky is the effortlessly funny Halloween horror slasher movie we deserved, but we didn't get until November. The title alone tips off one of the inspirations, Freaky Friday, although it's in some ways closer to, hang on, the Rob Schneider comedy The Hot Chick, with a portion of Friday the 13th thrown in. Perfect for a movie released on Friday the 13th. Which kind of makes up for it not being a Halloween.
And that probably was the pitch. You know, you always imagine what the pitch is in those executives' offices, right? It's Friday the 13th. It's the hot chick with a dash of Halloween thrown in. Or what, don't you think, Michael, that's how they pitch stuff?
Yeah, well, it's Freaky Friday, only really freaky.
Okay. Where does the freaky part come in?
Let me get down to it. I'm sure that the people who made it, starting with the director, co-screenwriter, a guy named Christopher Landon, totally did that. Anyway, it takes the basic body switching premise of Freaky Friday, and instead of it being a mother-daughter switch, it's like the cute high school girl, sleazy older man body switch in The Hot Chick, only in Freaky, the older man is a serial killer played by Vince Vaughn. So you got 17-year-old Millie, who is played by the appropriately wholesome Catherine Newton, and she's one of those nice, studious high school girls tormented by certain classmates, particularly the flashy babes and the nasty jocks who run the campus. But nobody's safe in this suburban town because a serial killer known as the Butcher, and that's, of course, the hulking Vaughn, is on the prowl. So when the Butcher uses a mystical dagger to attack Millie, it results in the magical body switch that then unleashes Vaughn and Newton to do some hilarious work as they play each other's characters. And of course, there's a ticking clock situation. Millie in the Butcher's body has 24 hours to somehow get back into her own body, or the switch is permanent. And that means she has to convince all her nerdy best friends that this sweaty, lumbering monster is actually her. And meanwhile, the Butcher in Millie's body now has access to an entire high school of obnoxious teenagers that he can slice and dice. Vaughn may or may not be an unpleasant guy in real life, but he really kills it, so to speak, in both the Butcher and Millie modes. And Newton is nails too, whether she's playing sweet or sinister. Freaky is like gory fun, and as these things go, it's a cut above. Sorry. Anyway, theaters and drive-ins for Freaky.
Hang on a second. We got to double back for that. So she kills it, and it's a cut above. Thank you very, very much. Go ahead.
Yeah. I knew you had to do that. Okay, next we have a movie that's more about empowerment than disembowelment. It's an ostensible comedy called Chick Fight, not to be confused with Girl Fight. And it stars Malin Ackerman, not to be confused with Cameron Diaz, although I can easily see how the latter could happen, since a decade ago, Diaz would have starred in Chick Fight, no question. Ackerman plays a schlub of a woman named Anna, who is in dire personal straits on all fronts. No money, no romance, business failing. Mom died recently. Dad's on a late-in-life quest to find himself, until her best friend, a brash, burly female cop, introduces her to a secret all-woman fight club. And it's only a matter of time before Anna gets in the ring at the club and gets her tush handed to her. And she also makes an enemy of the best and most brutal fighter in the club, who's buff, nubile, a beauty named Olivia, played by Bella Thorne. And though she's reluctant to continue participating in these punch-ups, Anna eventually decides she needs training and enlists the help of a local drunk who is said to be an expert in training fighters. He's played by Alec Baldwin, punching in for a little paycheck. I wish I could report that it's worth getting a few rounds with a chick fight, but as a comedy, it ain't too funny. And as a treatise on self-discovery and woman power, it's kind of shallow and flimsy, despite Ackerman giving it her best. It may be telling that the screenwriter and director were both men or not, but you can see Chick Fight on Fandango Now, Vudu, and Apple TV. Finally, on the movie front, I just want to quickly note The Climb, which has been sitting around on shelves because of the lack of theaters. And it's a sneaky, funny indie comedy, The Climb, that has a lot to say about the sometimes complicated nature of friendship between men and women, too. Starting with a long-distance bike ride that two guys go on together before one of them is about to get married. The movie uses very clever time swings and cuts to reveal that the relationship between the guys, Mike and Kyle, has had more than its share of challenges. For instance, we learn that Mike has slept with Kyle's fiancée, but there's so much. The screenwriter is Kyle Marvin, and the director is Michelangelo Covino. They're the two guys that play Mike and Kyle, and they are, in fact, actual best friends in real life, and they use their real names. And in fact, fiction, fact, what is it real? Is it not real? Did this actually happen to them? Anyway, it all works to comedic and dramatic effect. It makes you laugh, and it illustrates the ups and downs of real friendship between flawed people, and does it in a very creative way with some stylish movie making on what I would assume is a small budget. And they're supported by familiar faces, including George Wendt of Cheers, Talia Balsam of Rocky, and the fine French actress Judith Godrèche. Take The Climb. It's worth it. It's also available in the usual streaming service places. So,
wow, you like The Climb? Much, okay. Yeah. What else? Those are the features. You also had a couple of TV recommendations.
Oh, absolutely. My column, which is I'm happy to report it's the cover story or a cover story on the Marina Times, is all about TV shows that will make you feel good in this time of great stress. And the two that I center on are Ted Lasso on Apple TV Plus, which stars SNL alum Jason Sudeikis as the title character, a relentlessly optimistic American football coach who won a single mid-level college championship and is shockingly hired to take the reins of AFC Richmond, a faltering soccer team in England's high-profile Premier League. Sudeikis is really wonderful. The supporting cast is great. This is one of those things where you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll cheer. And the odd twist here is Ted Lasso was developed out of a couple of short films that NBC Sports put together to announce their acquisition of the Premier League on Sky Channel, or one of the streaming services. And he did these shorts, and they were so effective and funny that they spun it off into a series. And Ted Lasso, incredibly entertaining. As soon as I watched the last episode, I was eager for more. And The Durrells ran for 4 seasons, ending this past year. All of them now available on Amazon Prime. Gorgeously shot, hour-long period dramedy about a delightfully dysfunctional family facing financial difficulties and grappling with an unfamiliar environment. It's the early 30s. A single mom in England, cash-strapped, decides that she's going to pack up her 4 kids, including 2 brothers who would go on to be real-life authors Lawrence Durrell and Gerald Durrell, and another brother and sister, and move the family to the Greek island of Corfu. It's based on Gerald's memoirs of their Mediterranean adventure, and it's just lovely. And Keely Hawes stars as the mom. The cast is wonderful. Finally, I do want to mention something I think you are also very hot for, The Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
Yes, The Queen's Gambit.
Oh, my God. I didn't write about it because I didn't see it until after I had turned the column in, but Anya Taylor-Joy, so good in The Witch, which was her first major movie role a few years ago, is almost assured an Emmy nomination for her performance in this drama. as Beth Harmon, a young woman who endures a horrible childhood, including time in a Kentucky orphanage, and becomes an international championship-level chess player during the height of the Cold War. Everything about this, script, direction, art direction, soundtrack, and especially Ms. Taylor-Joy's complex portrayal of Beth is exquisite. And the supporting cast is top-notch. Thomas Brody Sanger of Game of Thrones, character actor Bill Camp, and even actress filmmaker Marielle Heller, who directed a handful of wonderful movies, including Diary of a Teenage Girl and Can You Ever Forgive Me? She's awesome as Beth's adoptive mom. The sequence using Mason Williams' instrumental hit Classical Gas over a competition is absolutely thrilling. I highly recommend The Queen's Gambit.
It's perfect, Michael. This is a perfect offering. The Queen's Gambit is a perfect offering.
It's fantastic.
I love it. All right, Michael, we're out of time. I love spending time with you. Of course, it's limited. But marinatimes.com is where you can read more from Michael Snyder. He's the coastal commuter column there. And as he said, it's front page of the Marina Times, his latest column. Freaky is the movie that he liked-ish. Chick Fight, not so much. He liked The Climb a lot. And The Queen's Gambit, I adored, along with Michael. Ted Lasso, he liked, and The Durrells, he liked also. Michael, again, we adore you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
See you, Michael.
Bye, Michael.
You too, guys. Take care.
Bye.